Live from Kakariko Village. Broadcast throughout the Retroverse, transmitted to the real world via a maze of wires connecting a Super Nintendo to a Wii, to a Wi-Fi network, and finally to the Internet. The Techno Funk Boy presents the Retro Zoo Super Show. Now here are your hosts, Kai and Steven.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kai, and you are listening to the Retro Zoo Super Show. For people who are new to our podcast, this is the Retro Gaming Podcast that is broadcast out of the heart of the retro games themselves. We broadcast live out of Kakariko Village. And we are pleased to transmit into the real world via podcast to you. I am flying solo today because we're about to have several people on here in the moment that are going to discuss the topic of interest today. But I wanted to first give a couple of announcements. First of all, thank y'all so much for tuning in last week to our big episode 50. You know, we set out to do a retro gaming podcast quite unlike the other retro gaming podcasts out there. And the fact that, you know, we are able to put together a program where robots fight one another inside retro games is kind of what we're going for when we say that. So we've gotten a lot of feedback from the episode. A lot of people really liked it, and so there's going to be a lot more of that to come. And in fact, we're going to be talking about some stuff that we have in the works. A lot of it's going to be exclusive over on our Patreon page, patreon.com/technofunkboy. And a lot of it's going to be just like this program always will be. It's going to be free for everybody. And so one of the things that we are uploading to our Patreon page right now is a new song, and we're going to be debuting that song during the break today. And so in the middle of the interview, we are going to take a break and jump over to that song. So please stay tuned and check that out. That is free for our Patreon supporters of all levels. And so please do go check that out. In the meantime, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because it's one of those things that that has so much to do with retro gaming and yet is not really talked about when we're talking about retro games, is like MMORPG guilds, and this goes to kind of the heart of the community experience of retro gaming, and especially those early years of the internet when MMORPGs were just making these massive inroads and doing some incredible things, and it just these things really just kind of enhanced our appreciation of the games and our experience with one another. And so we have a few guys over from the new Outriders, which is a guild in actually many MMORPGs currently and in the past. And so we're going to be welcoming them on very, very soon. And do remember that we're going to be jumping to that song about at the midway point of the interview. And so do stay tuned to that, and let's get over there. All right. Well, as promised, with me on the line, we actually have 3 different representatives from the new Outriders. Thank you all so much for joining us. Why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself?
Thanks for having us. I am Tundra of the new Outriders, one of the 4 current High Council members that oversee the overall fluidness of the guild.
And I'm Yavul. I'm also one of the High Council members. I've been with the new Outriders not since its inception, but since about 2006.
Thank you for having us. I am Mosey D'Elegante. I am Count and branch leader of the Realm Online branch of the new Outriders. I've been a member of the new Outriders since the end of 1998.
Wow, that's fantastic. Forgive me, I don't know how much I've told y'all about kind of my history of things, but when I was first in the realm, back in 96, 97, it's like the idea of guilds just immediately appealed to me, and I started one and it did really well and it crashed and burned, and y'all have managed to keep a pretty good organization going for much longer than the about 6 months that I was able to. So tell us a little bit about how y'all got started.
Well, I mean, that definitely was even before our time. I've been in the guild now, 14 years, Yavul 12, and we were first formed in 92, so we're on our 26th year. Originally we started, I guess, as the Nomads, which was kind of a crash and burn guild. A few of those members branched off, became the Outriders back in the early 90s. And then how things were ran, it split and became the new Outriders. And then for 26 years now, we've been the new Outriders, but not so new anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. That's so. So back in 92, and I had it. I was taking a look today. You basically started in a game I never heard of, but I was also not anywhere close to being online in 92, and so I don't think I would have. And of course, I've lost that page now. Do you know off the top of your head what that game was?
Yeah, that was the Shadow of Urbis.
Yeah, I was trying to take a look at that today. It's fascinating. I didn't know anything like that was around in 92.
From my understanding, it was a MUD with some visual aids.
Yeah.
But, again, that was before me.
Absolutely. And so y'all seem to have at least crossed paths with me on the realm. I see that y'all were present there, in 96 for a good long while, and then recently, restarted that chapter.
The realm was started. Nor joined the realm in, I believe, 1995. And then the realm sort of died in 2007, and we also, fell off with the end of the game. Mm-hmm. A couple of members, once the game was reborn, or actually in beta, the Mistwalker server beta, there were a couple of members, we were just, playing around with the idea of bringing the game back. I've been a Nomad member since, I believe, 2013. And the members we were talking to, I just happened to be the highest ranking member. And so everybody sort of pushed the responsibility on me. We got together. And basically we're here today. We started off on June 1st when the game dropped.
Yep.
With just a couple of us playing together. And we got our things together basically in that first month. July the 2nd, at a high council meeting, we were given provisional barony status. About a week ago, we were promoted to provisional county status, which basically means we doubled in size. And we're just going. We had an event today, and it went really well, and we're just going to keep it moving.
That's awesome. But, and certainly we're going to get back to the realm, because for everybody listening to the podcast, unless this is their first episode, they know I like the realm, and we've done quite a few things in the realm online. But that is certainly just one of several things that y'all are involved in, and it looks like currently you're in several different games.
Yeah, we have quite a few that we're in right now. Dungeons and Dragons Online is my home base, but we also have Star Wars Old Republic, and Neverwinter, Guild Wars 2, Black Desert Online, the realm here that we just got back going in the Nomad branch of our guild as well. And we've had numerous over the years, close to 30 now, as far as the different games that we've been part of, different branches that we've established in the New Outriders. And it keeps going. We're happy to have it continue on and have such a nice long legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that I mean, the first thing you hear when you're talking about a guild inside MMO games that's been going this long is, how in the world is that even possible? Because none of these games have been around that long. But that's exactly that's exactly what y'all have done, is branched out into multiple games.
Yeah, I mean, there's some definitely infrastructures that we've created that really makes it easy to transition from branch to branch, because you really have to go where people flow to. I mean, a few years back, it seemed like a new MMO was coming out every couple of months, and so you would have this vast exit from a game as somebody went to try another game. And so you'd have a bunch of established officers and members stay, and then you have other officers and members that wanted to try out the new place. So then we just split, and there's two of us. And being around for so long, we've set up of course, forums and servers, voice servers like TeamSpeak before this, and Ventrilo before that, and TC Chat or something like that before that. So you still had this connection between all the players, no matter what game they're in.
Kind of why I wanted to have y'all on is to hopefully try to get down to the bottom of that instinct that I had right away in my first MMORPG, which was the Realm Online. And that right away is, why in the world do we do this? Why do we band together into guilds? What are they for? And what do they add to the game? Which is a giant question, so we'll take that piecemeal. But what is it that guilds add to the experience?
Something that I like to associate with guilds is the idea of having a group of friends around. Everybody's hungry. It's about dinner time, and each person's got $10. It's like, okay, we can go, buy a hamburger apiece and a drink and some fries, or we could pool that money and suddenly you'll have an opportunity to have a greater amount of a variety in food, just because our purchasing power is increased. And with guilds, I see the kind of a similar thing. We pool resources, we create strength in our unity. It's synergistic, and people help each other, and that's part of the Norway, the New Outriders. Is, our goal is to have fun and help others do the same. That's our mission. And so, with that in mind, we come together in our guild, in our different branches, and we make a difference. Not just we make a difference for others. We make a difference for ourselves. They help us. We help them, and it works out great that way.
And then there's the whole social aspect. We play, these MMOs, instead of console games, where in the past that's one player and you run the story. But MMOs, for as long as I can remember, it's always team-based. It goes to 6-player, groups to 20-player raids. And being able to see that familiar face and learning their play styles compared to random pickup groups, there's quickly an advantage and a camaraderie that's built in inside jokes and past runs that are just not relevant when you're not in a guild.
Yeah, I remember, and I'll have to send you this link if you haven't seen it already. But I found my old Realm Guild website and on my hard drive, and I re-uploaded it. So good old 1996 HTML editing there. But there's a page on it that is specifically defining phrases that we, the guild, use all the time that don't make any sense. And so when you're talking about the inside jokes, that's immediately what I think of is that list that, I'm looking at 20 years later. I'm like, this wasn't funny. Well, I guess it was at the time, but.
Oh yeah, we're notorious for that. Because we have been around for so long, we have so many traditions that we still do that are not really relevant in today's gaming, but we still do it. It adds some RP moments. We have tons of jargon that someone else would not be able to follow. Most of the time we call ourselves Nor, because New Outriders is a mouthful when you're typing and talking. And then we have titles, the Count and the High Council. So others wouldn't pick up on that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think, I think the social aspect is so critical to the MMO experience. I mean, there's literally no point in it otherwise, because, we can get games like these very easily on a console. And I remember when I played City of Villains a little bit, and I was determined to role play it pretty good, and I created this ninja villain type thing that was kind of a loner, and I really liked the character. I was really happy with the character, but then I realized RPing a loner on an MMO, there's not really a point. It's like, why don't I just play a console game? But start being in a guild on the Realm, literally changed the way I played that game. And before it's okay, yeah, you find people to hunt with, you go communicate on chat or whatever it is. But now instantly there's a group of friends that we've all hunted and helped each other before. Hunted with, I should say, not hunted down, but hunted with and helped each other before. And all of a sudden, now I know all these people, and there's we were big enough that, there was usually at least somebody around. And so it really did kind of open up that social aspect of the game.
Well, let me speak for the Realm real quick. When we restarted our branch, we sent out, a few mass emails, and now all of a sudden I'm playing with the same friends I was playing with almost 20 years ago.
That's
I love
cool.
it.
That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had kept up with any of my old, of any of my old friends from back in the day. That every once in a while I look through the players online just to see if I recognize a name, and I haven't yet. But But that's really cool.
I was gonna say that's some of my favorite stories. Is we get people that stumble across our website, or they play a new game and they're like, 10 years ago I was in your guys' guild. Are you the same guild?
Yeah.
And then we start name dropping and like, oh yeah, I know him. Oh, they're still playing this game, and that's always a really a cool feeling to see people from long ago that have stopped gaming altogether and have come back, for one reason or another.
Yeah, that's that's very that's really interesting, and like that'd be very much like in my case, where City of Villains was the last MMO I played. I spent a little time in EverQuest. I spent a little time in City of Villains, and that was it. And coming back to the realm is reminding me why I enjoy this genre so much, because I've just been away so long, and that would make me so happy if I'd come back to see my old guild still running. I would have questions since I started it and all, but still, I didn't leave it to anybody. I killed it when I left, but it would be really cool, and like that would be the first thing I would do, is just hook up with those people and ask a billion questions.
That's what it's been for us in the realm. Like through all the changes from the Norseman servers that they bought from Codemasters, with all the changes, no one really knows what's going on, and it's not surprising because games change.
Sure.
But it gives us I guess a better feeling that we're there and able to help them.
Yeah, and that one thing I found coming back, it's like it feels very similar. It feels like coming home, but it's a very different game than when I left. And like people are saying, well, let's go fight Fufu, and I'm like, what in the world is a Fufu? And I have to learn the new lingo that they've actually been using for 20 years, but I've just been out of the loop. But yeah, it's. Just being able to short circuit that whole process that I've gone through is making new friends, and I think is very cool, and that's one of the really cool things that y'all have, as being around for so long, is that there is that structure there that even if the names have changed, that somebody can find.
Well, thanks to the architects of our organization, which has developed over the years. The rules have changed,
Sure.
Standards have changed, conventions have changed, but the one thing that never has changed is we have fun, and we help others to do the same, and we all just keep coming back for it.
Yeah. And so that's actually something I want to ask y'all about, because obviously there's got to be some differences in the way like Nora would run on one game versus another game, just because of the quirks and peculiarities of that game. And I know a lot of that structure can be transported between games easily enough. But what is it? I mean, is there like a core that y'all are seeking to offer wherever you are in whatever game?
Yeah, and I think that's probably more our job as High Council members than anything, because we every couple of years kind of go through our outline of rules, or because we want a standardization of some sort. So if one member is playing Dungeons and Dragons online with Yavu, but then they hop over to the Old Republic, you still want that familiarity of the tradition. And even though the rules are completely different, like our Star Wars is more raid oriented, and DDO is more of some classic dungeon crawl stuff. So a lot of the branch leaders have a lot of freedom to customize how they run the group itself. Like they'll have additional raid rules for that particular realm that wouldn't apply to one of our other games.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the philosophy is the same, and how they might promote members or the qualifications that you'd want in an officer are the same as our other games, then we try to make it very easy to adapt and to keep a game going. Like, for instance, Neverwinter. We've been in that since beta, and we've had maybe 5-6 different branch leaders. And just having, once a branch leader is there, the High Council will, go in there and advise them, make sure they aren't running around with their head cut off trying to run a guild. Like, we give them those tools to be able to do it. And once they're established, we're like, now you need to consider, who will replace you, and kind of groom them, because we all have real lives, and our attention span can only last so many years or months on a game.
Yeah, and that was one of my problems is a succession plan, as like a succession plan. Sorry, not succession plan. That actually, there was a succession plan in my guild, and that was not good. When a bunch of people left and started their own guild. But anyways,
we've seen that over the years.
But a succession plan is it's like I did not want to relinquish control, and that was to the detriment of the guild, and which is one of the reasons it didn't last very long. Is because I just I couldn't trust other people to help.
Yeah, and that, we've definitely have had some very short-lived realms, because not everyone, leads the same way, or they don't find a good number two that they feel can carry the torch. So it's either keep a guild going that's gonna wreck and burn and kind of give you a bad name, or you get lucky and you do find some passionate officers that want to continue on and are trustworthy to take over.
Yeah, and we're gonna touch more on as I said, the Realm Online in particular, but in general, if people are playing in any of these games that y'all are in, what are you looking for in a NOR member?
Well, our baseline is pretty simple. As far as when we have recruits, so people actually apply for the new Outriders through our website, and we have a little trial period, a couple weeks to see if it's a good fit both directions. We're making sure that they can adhere to just some very simple things, and it comes down to respect of the game, respect of each other. We like to keep our public chat PG-13 level, and that's just one of the nuances of the new Outriders.
Mm-hmm.
We also are looking for people who want to, extend out and lend a helping hand, and then are also open to receiving that. So it's not too difficult to become a member, and other things that we want to make sure is we don't want our guild members trying to hijack other guilds and recruit away. We want people to come in their own volition, and beyond that, there's not too much else that we ask of our guild members.
And that's one of the big keys of keeping a guild drama free. I find that keeping PG-13, it just, too much more than that, people start getting offended or take things personally, and drama ensues.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah, that's kind of like the baseline.
That's very cool, and that's that's something that I don't talk about this a ridiculous amount, but I think our audience here at the Retro Zoo actually tends to be probably younger than quite a bit younger than most gaming podcasts, and it's very simply because we're awesome and interesting, but we're also keep things at like a PG level, and so that really does it. At first glance, that kind of rule seems to restrict, but it opens the door in a lot of other ways.
And it's allowed. We've been around for so long. We have a lot of older folks and growing up, their kids want to watch us play. And then, they hit that 13, 16, age, and the parent wants to try them out in an MMO, but, you can't trust a lot of stuff. So we found, over the years that, the kids get on, they're in a semi, safe environment as much as you can be in an MMO. Mm-hmm. But now they've grown up, and they're still members, and now they're having kids. So we have multiple generation members at this point.
That's really neat. That's very cool.
Actually, Lady Ziera was going to attend tonight. Her father is the one that recruited me, 14 years ago. He no longer plays, but she's now one of our ruling High Council members.
And I have my 4 children. Each are members of the New Outriders as well, and each of them have participated in different games along the way. One of them is right now a streamer through Twitch, and that's his full-time job. And for a lot of other individuals, for most of us, we all have our own work, and we all do our jobs. We come home from our day, and we want to enjoy. We want to kick back, enjoy some gaming time, enjoy some social time, and so that's part of the environment that every one of our branches wants to make sure can be empowered as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the second thing of a drama-free guild is to keep real life out of it as much as possible. So politics, religion, all that stuff that we're faced with every day at work and in real life doesn't need to be in our fantasy world.
Right.
And so that really keeps people social and happy with one another when controversial things are not clogging up guild chat and things.
So I can't come in and talk about Trump because that was the next thing on my list that we were going to talk about. I don't know what to do now. No.
That's what the private groups are for,
right? Oh, that's that's really interesting, and I hadn't for something as long lived, that's so interesting that you'll have thought through. How to keep things as drama free as possible, which is one of the reasons y'all have stuck around. I'm sure because nothing can rip apart an online guild faster than a little bit of the real world seeping in.
Yeah, definitely. And when drama, it does happen.
Sure.
It's one of the officers, things we ask them to do is, make sure you take it to the private chats, keep it out of guild chat, try to, because everyone else they're gaming. They're here to be a distraction. They don't want to log into some power struggle or something like that in guild chat.
Mm. Well, that's
and another nice thing about, keeping it non-real world as far as our gaming time is that the New Outriders has also over the years held guild bashes, nor bashes as we call them, where we actually will come together in the real world and meet each other. And the old guild YouTube series, it sometimes feels a little bit like that. I hosted one in 2007, and 13 of our guild members came here, and we went to the Renaissance Fair. We went and watched Transformers when it first came out. We went out and did karaoke. It was a whole weekend just of great times, and some lasting friendships manifested, and it just brought, I believe it brought our guild together at an even stronger level after that. And I think each one of those does that.
That is so cool. And that's something I was like, I don't think, I know I had to think about it for a second, but I've as involved as I was in the Realm Online and in my own guild back in 96, 97, I don't believe I've ever met another one of the Realm players in real life. But it's one of those things. It's like we spent so much time together and had so much fun together that it had always been a desire to do something like that. And I know of other guilds back in the day that did that, and even now. But it's really neat that y'all were able to pull that kind of stuff together.
Yeah, we actually I hosted one last year for our 25th anniversary. I'm in the Indiana area, so Gen Con is a big gaming festival. So I centered it around that, and then we just did a cookout in the backyard on one of the days. But I mean, I can't believe really how well it was. Like, we had like 8 different states represented, with people flying in and driving cross country.
Wow!
Just to eat some burgers for a few hours and meet some people that they talk to and game with for the first time.
That's so cool, and and I really do think that's one of the things that separates I was gonna say online gaming, but particularly like MMORPG type styles, apart is, I mean the stuff like the Realm Online, if it were the Realm Offline, console edition, would be a pretty crummy game, but just the community of it is really what makes it special, and that seems to be kind of nearly a universal reaction from people I've talked to from other games as well.
Well, the Realm Online, it's just one of those games. It's 2D, left, right, up, down,
Yeah.
Turn by turn play. But everyone's correct. Is the social aspect. I mean, I know maybe 6 couples that may have gotten married in the last 20 years or so.
Yeah, we had some members meet in the guild and get married.
Wow.
And they were both high council members at one point in their term with the Nor.
speaking of the realm, let's kind of focus in a little bit, because this is where I ran across y'all as a group for the first time, and it was through Mosey. So, first of all, I want to say, even though I'm not a member of NOR, y'all have been remarkably generous with me and remarkably kind to me, and so I really appreciate that, and I think it's a credit to you and to the guild that y'all have been, so that generous and that outgoing.
Well, I mean, it's not personal. It's not just you.
I didn't think so.
General practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to help anybody. If you really need help, ask one of us. If we don't have it, one of us may, and if not, maybe we can pool our resources together to help you. It's a game. Back to our guild motto: we want to have fun and help others to do the same. That is what we do, and I personally love it. I've been in the guild 20 years. I love it. I left gaming, real world, real life, struggle, bills, family, kids, but I came back to NOR because it offered me something I just couldn't get from real life. Drama-free friendship. We could always have fun together without, who cares who the president is? Who cares who don't like who in the world? It's about who do we like between us. Hey, that's my buddy Nor Rat. He was one of the greatest PvP players I had ever seen in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Those are the type of, that's what we do together. We share, we build, and we share these stories. And in the realm, for me personally, I've only been NOR in the realm. I've played many MMOs, but I've only been NOR in the realm. It's not that I didn't want to be NOR in other realms. It's just that I kept playing like oddball games, Conquer Online, Eternal Lands, Puzzle Pirates, and in those games, we just had friends, but it still always reminded me of being in NOR. And that's why I'm back in the realm online. And I'm really happy that we have come back in the realm online. It's just such a wondrous feeling to be able to help people. Especially, not to say this, but when you needed help, I didn't choose you because you were Techno Funk Boy. Now, I may have took advantage and have taken you hunting with me in Anvil, but I'm sorry. But I had fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was a blast. Yeah, that one thing about the realm in particular is it's a very soloable game. Is that you don't have to have a group to do everything, but having a group really opens things up. For me, it's like streaming the game has really opened things up because people jump in and I can't remember if it was you or Katria that jumped in and said, dude, you need an amulet of free will if you're going to do that dungeon. You're being an idiot. And that really helped a lot. And, just it's the game is so scalable in community that it's really amazing. And that's one of the things that I love about it. And I love knowing people around there and able to talk through stuff and hunt together.
One of the better things about being in the guild is, depending on what time of day you log in, if you want to solo, or you can. But if you want to join a group, you can always, hey, let's go hunt Fufu.
Yep.
And have a blast dying together in the game.
Yes. I don't know if you caught it, but one of the most fun streams we had was getting in a group and just seeing how far we could make it through the maze without dying, and we died like a lot, and it was hilarious, and it was a blast. It was so much fun, and so. yeah, I have the advantage of, we have this set Tuesday night stream, and we have several players who play in it, and a lot of people jump in and join us, or take us somewhere, or guide us, or just watch and give feedback. And that, I have that advantage. Not everybody has, but even with me, it's a Tuesday night thing, But it just I keep going back to those great memories of being able to of jumping on the realm back in '96, and our channel was 88. I would jump into channel 88, and there would normally be somebody there, and that somebody was always willing to jump out with you and do whatever.
We've had channel 47. For anyone listening, you can always join channel 47 if you need help or just want somebody to hang out with. We're a friendly bunch. We like to have fun. We may talk a little trash sometimes, but it's just all in fun. And it's PG-13. But that's always a good thing about being in the guild. You can just jump on and say, hey, anybody on? Oh, I am? Hey, what are you doing? Yeah. Oh, hey, let's go kill Fufu. I love that you said kill Fufu. That's hilarious.
It threw me off so much first time I heard it, but it is our latest challenge is we're trying to set the record for a single round poison damage to him. And so we're trying to plan a stream where we all get like weak weapons that are poison enchanted, and just layer poison on him. And just to see how far we can get, like in a single round, how much damage he'll get. I can't remember what we got. It was super high, but somebody else had beaten us out, and so goofy stuff like that, it becomes so much fun.
Well, again, the realm is 2D, up, down, left, right, turn by turn play. So that's what we do, and again, thankful for being in the guild is that we can do things like that. Today was his heroic undead stronghold. I want to say a couple of days ago was heroic foundry. We all go together and we either kill everything and get nothing and laugh about it, or we all die together and laugh about it. Oh, yeah. That's what it's about. Having fun and laughing together.
Dying in the realm, it normally brings a chuckle out of me, because especially in a group when we're doing something stupid that we shouldn't be involved in.
But it's so easy to do that in the realm.
Oh yeah, you can. It's always a little bit fun to get in over your head and just to see what happens next. It's one of the charms of the game.
It really is. It's been like that forever. The realm has never really been the hardest game to play. I mean, it does have a little complexity in the game mechanics, sure, and in the build. But outside of that, it's again point and shoot.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Or get shot.
All right, so like you mentioned the event that you were doing today. So you seem to like regularly get together and just tackle something crazy.
Today, my officers, Baron Normesa and Baroness Norcatria, we were talking in the officers meeting, and we decided to have a drop. And they held it today. I think it was a great success. Of course, we filled a house where we had to take like 3 items out of each room so we can actually get in the house. But they did that today, and it went really well. It was again starter stuff. Again, beginners orbs, amulets, rings, teleports, and basic armor. But for those who may have started in the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks in the game, it's a great way to get that starter gear to get you ready to go into the dungeons to get the good gear for yourself. Yeah. And I commend them on it. They did such a great job, and I'm so proud of them for what they've done today.
Yeah, and just for people who don't know, because I just learned about like drop houses like not terribly long ago, but basically you fill up. Everybody in the realm has their own home, and you fill up your house with stuff and tell people just come on outside, and then at some point you'll open the door and let people in, and they can just grab whatever they want.
or whatever they can, depending on your connection speed.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember playing AOL dial-up. So, sometimes then you try to get in the house, mom picks up the phone. Hey, you go, oh no, mom, I almost had the wrath.
I have one picture on my hard drive of what the lag speed was from '96, and it's a lot higher than it is today. We were all playing on dial-up, but
we love dial-up.
Oh yeah. But and for those who might be interested in joining in playing the Realm online, I would say the players in general are a very generous bunch. And if you come in the chat, and I don't want to speak for y'all, but I'm sure y'all would do it too. And some newbie came up to you and was like, "Hey, I'm new to the Realm. What do I do?" More than likely, whoever's around you is going to help quite a bit, and probably get you some at least a little bit of an upgrade of equipment and get you going.
Oh, the Realm Online. Oh, the players there are awesome. We all play our several characters, but the players overall are really, really awesome. But you do have to look out for a scammer here and there, but it's part of the game.
Oh yeah.
And we all do that. And that's just what we do. If you really need something, just ask somebody. Ask a question. If you don't know where to go or what to do, ask a question. If you can't find it in forums or online, we take people hunting ourselves all the time, show them new areas, strategies for new areas or strategies for bosses. Mm-hmm. But everybody in the game does that. I can't just say we do it by ourselves. It's just the community in the Realm Online has always been that type of community.
It absolutely
but we
has.
Do it too.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that made me feel like I was coming home. After 20 years, is just like the players felt the same. That the same kind of fun and generosity that I remembered in the game was still there, and so it was a blast.
I just say thank you to the people at Rats Labs. They've taken this game that we all love and that had died, and have brought it back and have reinvigorated older players to play, thereby bringing in newer players. Because I've met several people who've never heard of the Realm before. It's either they heard a podcast or watched a Twitch video, or their second cousin's boyfriend's sister was playing and she recommended people try it. I just want to say thank you to Starry and Redbeard, Jordan, Ice Project, Ezots, Shadow Lord, and if I forget your name, I'm sorry. But I just say thank you to these guys. They really are providing an awesome experience, and it's free to play if you don't want to become a noble citizen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not the first dungeon that's free to play. It's most of the dungeons, except for the heroic version. So we have several friends who play with us that are don't have noble citizen accounts, and they're actually higher level than me, and so they're doing great and having a blast. So yeah, it's I've been really impressed that they've brought back the feel of the game. They brought back the community of the game, and they've that place has a lot of people playing all the time now. It's kind of wild.
It really is. Go on regularly, you see a couple of hundred accounts logged in. Doesn't mean it's a couple of hundred people, no, because they do allow us to multiple account play.
Yes,
but if I'm a veteran player, and if thinking about my experience in the Realm, 200 accounts online is probably about 150 people playing. You may have 4 or 5 people playing more than one or 2 accounts.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably a really good rule of thumb. So, well, that's fantastic. I don't want to delve too much into Realm only talk, because we're going to lose half of our guests here, but tell me again what channel y'all frequent on there. So anybody who does play and wants to come hang out with y'all can, and we'll be able to find you.
In the Realm Online, look, you click channels.
Yep.
And we usually try to have channel 47. We can't say it's our channel,
Sure.
but if we can get channel 47, we'll take channel 47. If not, look for 147. If not, look for 247. But it will have Nor as its title.
Right. Yeah.
Come down, come hang out, have some fun with us.
Yeah. And if for players who, if you hit that channel list, it's very clear, it's you'll find them right away. And so this has been really interesting to me because I've been wanting to talk about like online guilds and an online guild play for a while, and when Mosey introduced me to the new Outriders, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Y'all are all over the place, and so I really appreciate y'all's time. Any final thoughts on either the community of the guild or anything that y'all just wanted to mention about what y'all do? That I'd be happy to let you do that.
Well, one thing, especially when going back to like social talk, for the last year and a half, 2 years now, I've been mostly focused in pen and paper D&D, but through the guild. Online tools are so easily accessible now with like Roll20.net, for instance, that lets you bring in traditional tabletop gaming, and we've brought that into the guild. So like we have a weekly guild D&D night where we sit here in Discord and we play old school D&D.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
And one of our members, he is planning in October to start doing one-shots so that it's not the core group, but we're able to bring in new people that haven't played D&D in years or never at all, that are in the guild to do a one-night or two-night campaign of some sort.
Nice. That's very cool.
Because, gaming with somebody online is one thing, but when you're gaming in a nonstop talking, it's like you bond even more than by typing and chatting.
That's that's been one major development since this whole thing started of online play and stuff is even in the MMORPGs. I'm finding, like, obviously when I'm streaming the game, I try to get whoever I'm playing with on Discord because it's just more interesting to the audience, and certainly on Tuesday nights because that's kind of our big broadcast night. We get on Discord, but if I'm hunting with somebody who's kind of a established friend of mine and we're connected on Discord, I try to jump on Discord. It's much more fun than typing. So.
For sure. Discord definitely has changed the game, or voice VoIP service in general. But sometimes it's still nice to know you don't have to be on VoIP to that, so you can relax and half read guild chat.
Yeah.
So we don't make it a rule to be on a voice. You could definitely avoid it at all costs if you're a person that does want a quiet and gaming environment.
Exactly. That's great.
And another thing that's really nice about modern role-playing games is that so many of them are free to play. And just taking the time to take a look at what's available. Most all MMORPGs have some X amount of content, and sometimes, if you like the game but you don't want to get too far into it, there's microtransactions, just smaller amounts of the game, a la carte style. And I highly recommend it to anybody who's ever been interested in doing a role-playing game online. Pick one, give it a shot. Just do the free-to-play, do the tutorials, and then if you find that it feels good, keep with it. if you don't like that one necessarily, try not to snub them all just by the one attempt, because so many of them have different qualities.
Right, exactly.
I like this.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I like to say thank you to Gimli and Grumpy. I forgot them. I didn't mean to forget you. I love you all. You are awesome.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, y'all's website, newoutriders.org. Your website is so much cooler than my website was in 1996.
It's always a work in progress.
But this is great. So yeah, for audience for the audience members who are involved in any of these games or just want to learn more, check them out. Check y'all out in game. I can't speak for all the games. It sounds like y'all are nice in all the games that you're in, but you're definitely nice in the Realm Online. And so, drop them a line, and I know they're gonna be nice and helpful to you too, because my dealings with Noir on the Realm Online have been fantastic. So I really appreciate y'all coming in and chatting with me about this.
Thanks again for having us.
Thanks for the invitation. Greatly appreciate it.
Yes, thanks so much.
The Retro Zoo Super Show is brought to you by the Techno Funk Boy. Follow us on Twitter at Techno Funk Boy, on Facebook at the Techno Funk Boy, and sign up for our email list at technofunkboy.com. Also look for us on Spotify, iTunes, and Amazon for music. If you are so inclined, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcast catcher. If you are not so inclined, you are obviously some sort of villain trying to conquer the world. Unowned music and gameplay clips are used for educational and critical purposes. Thank you for listening. Keep gaming. Unless you have responsibilities that need to be done at this time, then you can game later.